Alright, this is just a quick unboxing video of a few Mühle shaving products. We have the Mühle Rocker Safety Razor, we have the Rocker Brush and the Rocker Stand, all in silver stainless steel. We have a Mühle shaving bowl, we have a blade guard for the razor, and we have a pack of 10 Mühle blades. Now the razor, the stand and the brush are also sold as a set. So the packaging of the set might look a little different. However, I got them separately because they ended up being like 30 euros cheaper this way. Here's what I paid for each component, and I bought them at this store in Germany. Alright, let's have a look. Let's start with the razor. Remove the paper wrap. And let's see what's inside. Here we have the razor, which has a pretty nice finish, a little glossy. The handle is quite unique with the interesting texture here. I think they make it by stacking a lot of machined washers on top of each other and then maybe gluing them in place. At least you can't screw the bottom of the handle off. Like everything from here to here is completely solid. You can just separate the handle from the head, of course. This is how the head looks from the inside. The upper piece and the base plate are connected by these two nubs, which go into this slot here. And it's pretty precise as far as I can tell. Like if you try to wiggle it like this, there's maybe a tenth or two of play, a tenth or two of a millimeter, but it's really not enough to be visible. Let's put in a blade really quick, one of the original Mühle blades, which come nicely wrapped in some parchment paper, I guess. And it tightens down like this. So when it's tightened, the blade protrudes at the ends of the head for like half a millimeter, I guess. I'm not totally happy about this. Of course, it makes the changing of the blades a little easier, but it also is like, I mean, you can't cut yourself on it, but I would have preferred it if this were like completely covered. And I could have lived with the blade change being a little more difficult. Checking the blade reveal, which looks, I guess, even enough to me. I'm not an expert on razors. This is in fact the first safety razor I ever bought. But it looks to be pretty symmetrical to me. So, other than the razor, we have we actually do have a blade in the razor package as well, it seems. And some paper. Let's see what this says. I'm just gonna skim through it really quick. You never know, maybe there's something in there that is interesting for someone. Alright, that was the English part, and here's the German part. I'm not gonna skim through that one now. Alright, so next up, let's do the brush. I really like this packaging. The tube makes a lot of sense. It also keeps the bristles together and protects them, of course. And here we have the brush, also with a silver handle. And this is the artificial version of the bristles. Like there's a better one, but this one is it's called fiber, I think. Silver tip fiber or something like that. You can screw off the bristles from the handle. There's threads, of course. And here you can see the glue, how they fix the bristles. Interestingly, inside the handle there's a screw, which, as far as I can tell, seems to be glued in. At least I don't want to try to remove it for no reason. I guess the handle is not like solid. I guess it has a hollow portion like around here, because it feels a little too light to be completely solid. Right, let's get that back on. And let's see what paper we have in the tube. Just have a quick look if there's anything interesting here. Maybe show the English part again. Where does it start? Oh, the English part is from here to here, I think. Just show it to the camera. Correct. Now, next up is the stand, which I'm really interested in. It comes wrapped in some kind of packaging paper. Let's get it off. And there's some kind of thinner paper inside. Alright, it comes completely mounted already. I thought there would be something to screw together, but doesn't seem like it. This actually looks pretty great. It's quite heavy, and I really love the finish. Let's see if the razor and the brush actually fit inside. Oh, I have to take this off before. Alright. It's interesting. The brush seems to have a little wiggle room. It doesn't sit. I guess it's because of the radius here. Since this has a sharp edge and the brush has a radius, so it doesn't sit like completely clamped in there, but it can move a little. Actually, I'm not quite sure if I like that. I think I would have preferred it to be a little more defined in the position, but I mean, at least it has a definite resting spot right here in the middle. Should be fine. But it's like it gets jiggled out of place really easily. The razor, on the other hand, this one sits pretty solidly in there. It also has a radius, but like it balances itself, other than the razor, which doesn't really balance itself. So this also always goes in the same position. Maybe show a little close-ups here. There's like, I don't know, maybe half a millimeter or a millimeter space in the thinnest part. Anyway, from the visual side, I think these look pretty great together. Like the finish is... No, actually I'm not sure if the stand is stainless steel, because I did never find a clear any document that clearly says that the stand is stainless steel too. So it might not be. Actually, let's check the paper from the stand. Maybe there's something in it. Oh, never mind, that just seems to be a general brochure. This has nothing to do with the stand. So I guess the stand does not have any dedicated paper. Alright, so I guess in the bottom there's also nothing. Guess we will not find out if it's really stainless steel. Actually, I could test it with a magnet, I suppose. Let me get the magnet really quick. Let's see. This is interesting, is that this is magnetic, but I guess there are stainless steels that are magnetic as well. Or maybe it's attracted to something else, I'm not quite sure. It only seems to be magnetic in the middle. So maybe the centerpiece is magnetic in some way. But this is not magnetic. And this is also not magnetic. It's just, there seems to be something in there that's magnetic. Maybe the screw or the thing that the screw holds. And the handle here is also magnetic. At the back it's slightly magnetic. This is very, very magnetic. So I guess the things on the outside are stainless steel, but maybe there's a rod inside that holds the washers that is not stainless. Nothing magnetic here. Here probably the blade is magnetic, so let's take the blade out really quick. Because I think in the head there should not be anything magnetic except the blade. Yep, so this is completely unmagnetic now. And about the stand, this is also like there's nothing at all. This is completely dead to the magnet. So I guess this is really stainless steel. Alright, let's put this back together. And what's missing? We still need to check out the blade guard. Actually, let me do that with the blade in the razor so that it has the right thickness. When you place the razor down like this, the protruding part of the blade does not contact the floor, which is pretty nice. So at least you can place it down like this if you want, and it's not awkward. It starts contacting it like this angle, like if you lift it by like a centimeter. Right, let's check out the blade guard. Now this costs €5 by itself, or at this store only $3.50. Which, I mean, it's a nice blade guard. It's like not 3D printed or anything, it's like a proper plastic part. And checking the fit, the fit is absolutely perfect. So it's easy to remove, but it's still tight enough to not fall off on its own. and looking inside you can see the blade does not contact the plastic because the plastic has these little ridges which give it just enough distance that the blade is protected, and the fit is like perfect. Pretty happy with that. And the last thing that's missing is the shaving bowl. This is not part of the Rocca set. This is just a general Mühle shaving bowl. More of the packaging paper. And there's more of the thin paper. And here's the bowl. Inside the box is just a general brochure that's the same as with the stand. So no useful information in there, I'm afraid. The bowl looks pretty neat. I have seen some versions that have a silver rim, but this one is completely black. There's definitely not a silver rim. Here's a silver Mühle logo, and the bottom is white with no markings of any kind. Here's a little bump inside. From what I've read, this bump is to protect, like if you use a solid shaving soap, so that you can store it inside the bowl and it does not like contact any water that might accumulate on the bottom. And I guess it's also supposed to help with lathering, so I'm not sure about that. It's my first safety razor ever, as said, so I'm not an expert in anything yet. It looks nice enough to me. Let's put the brush in for a little size comparison. So the size seems absolutely perfect. Like I don't have that much beard, so I don't need that much lather. And the slight angle is pretty nice, so the handle of the brush doesn't crash into the bowl. So if you hold it more or less straight, you actually can't crash it. You can go from side to side and it only bumps into the bristles. Well, almost only. I guess if you really push down and to the side, then it bumps into the bowl, but with normal motions seems to be pretty fine, as long as you're not too forceful. Alright, I think that's it for this video then. Let's put everything here for a final photo. The blade too. Alright. I guess I'm pretty happy with the build quality. After all this, I mean, pretty sure this is gonna last a lifetime. I don't think there's anything except the blade that really can break. So I don't mind spending over 200 euros on this, because yeah, if it lasts a lifetime, it's always worth it. Yep, thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. I didn't find any similar videos, so I just decided to make this. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and other than that, have a nice day.